Hi, I'm Adam. I study in the 7th grade. Now, our school campus has two buildings. The new building, which was built about 30 to 20 years ago, and the older building. Now, all the classes and facilities were mainly in the new building since it was built. So the old building was all but abandoned at this point. But it made for a popular hangout destination. Me and my friends and most of the school's people used to go there to hang out, talk about our favorite games, and just chill. Even some homeless people used to stay there, so we had to be a little careful, but it was very good. We all used to go there at the free time. But everyone knew not to stay there past 6 pm. It was an unspoken rule, kind of. No, there hadn't been any incidents or anything like that, but everyone just had the feeling that no one should be there after 6. Now, me and my best friend Jack had an idea. We were a little strapped for cash at that time, so we thought, why not host a game? And the perfect place would be the building. Me and Jack had set the entry fee at about £10, so it wasn't much of a problem for most of the people. We started the game immediately, and for about the entire week, no one won. We asked them to bring a camera with them so that we knew that they didn't flinch or run away. Of course, no one was able to win because most of them either ran away at around 10 pm. They turned around to saw what was behind them at the door. So at the end, Jake challenged me. He said, "What about you and me both play the game, and whoever wins will get all the cash?" I wouldn't disagree. I love money, I jokingly said. "Well, then it's settled," Jack said. "You'll be going on up ahead first tomorrow. I'll set everything up, and I hope you don't win," he said laughingly. Now, I knew Jack would do everything to make me lose. He would set up traps, he would try to scare me out of my mind. So, all throughout the night, I trained myself to not look back, not run away, not even flinch. I trained up till 12, and then I slept. The next morning, I went to the old building at about 6 pm, and I saw that Jake had left me a note. "Good luck. I won't go easy on you." That's all it said. And there was the camera there too for me to use so that I could prove to Jack that I really did win the game. I went inside the building and slowly went up to the second floor. The building was all run down, and it smelled of the familiar school scent, the one of thick dust and chalky aroma. I went into the second floor and I quickly found the room. Jack had done some work. Jack had placed the chair in the middle of the room, as we said, facing the window, and all throughout the room were shattered glass. I quickly set up the camera right in front of the chair and I sat down. It was 8 pm now. The game had started. Now I couldn't look back. I couldn't make any visible emotions that I was scared or run away. Not so easy when you actually do it. So I started to think what were the things Jake could do to scare me. It's easy to say that I was extremely paranoid at this point, so I knew nothing much could scare me. That is when I first heard footsteps from downstairs. Now it was a very hollow building, so sound would travel really far. So I knew someone had entered the building. Now I knew all the tricks Jack would pull off. This would be the first. So I was composed. I didn't show any sign of fear. After about 10 minutes, I heard the footsteps approaching the staircase. I could hear someone climbing up the stairs and towards the Second floor. The footsteps had now reached the second floor. I was positive there was someone there, most probably Jack. I did not show even a hint that I was scared. I was in it to win it. Now another 10 minutes had passed, and I heard the footsteps moving again, now towards the room. Now I could make out that whatever was there was standing right behind me at the doorway. I knew this because the entire floor was covered with broken glass, so it was pretty easy to track Jack anywhere he went. I found it odd that he would just stand there for what seemed like an eternity. I thought about half an hour had passed, and then the footsteps came close again. It came close and stopped right behind my back. Oh, Jake, how low have you gone? You can't even scare me now, I thought to myself. But what changed was that I could hear soft growling noises. That didn't seem quite right, I thought. I could feel warm breath, warmer than any human's, on my back. I was quite confused at this point. It wouldn't be right to say I was scared, but I was. I didn't show any of it though on my face, as I still believed it was Jack in somewhere in my mind. Another 10 minutes passed. I was as stiff as a rock, when I certainly felt something warm and liquidy touch my shoulder and drip down. I went and took a look at my shoulder, as that was not a part of the game where I could lose. I saw that it was drool, as if something was drooling right over me, and it happened to fall on my shoulders. The growling noises increased, became louder and louder, until I could feel that there was certainly someone behind me, and it was not Jack. I was shaking now. I hoped to God that it was not as evident as I thought it was. Then I heard the crunching of teeth, as if whatever was behind me was starting to grit its teeth out of anger. I knew I had to do something. I could not sit here and just wait. I don't know what came over me, but I suddenly stood up and I ran. I went up to the window, I leapt, and I jumped out. Thankfully, I landed on some bushes. I definitely knew some of my bones were broken, maybe my wrist too. I didn't care that I was leaving my 100-pound camera behind. I just ran. I ran, and I went to an infirmary that was open. It was 12 a.m. I didn't even notice. I was shaking, but the nurse patched me up. The nurse told I had bone sprains and a broken wrist, but nothing too serious. I went home. I told my parents that I fell and got the injuries in that order. I couldn't find Jack in school anywhere the next day. The next week, I got a message from Jack. Hey, I'm sorry I couldn't complete the game with you. My grandpa just died, so I was needed at my family's home. But don't worry, I did make all the arrangements for you to play. If you win, I'll give you the cash, don't worry. Do tell me what happened. The message said. I didn't know what happened last night was actually true or a figment of my imagination. Later that afternoon, I creepily went into the old building and up to the second floor to get my camera back. I was so scared as to know what happened last night. That camera had everything in it, I thought. I went into the room and I saw that the room was as usual. The chair in the middle, the window in front of it, and the broken glass all around. But in that glass, All that broken glass. I saw footprints, as if something had walked right from the doorway right behind me. My blood ran cold. It was not human footprints. They were huge, something like a dog's. No, a big wolf's. I thought whatever came to me last night, I had just barely escaped it. I went to the camera and I was hoping to find what was behind me in the footage. But when I opened the footage on my laptop later that night, I just saw black. The footage was fried. But I knew I was never going to the old building ever again. Not in the day, and definitely not at night.